What in God's name is that?
Something John built. He meant for me to have it. Mr. Nordhoff says it's a laptop.
Yeah. Can we put it down? I'm getting kind of pooped.
Bet. Seth, come give us a hand. Well, you're good to help me with this.
Oh, think nothing of it. What's an old man got to do with this time? You know, Johnny was a good kid. He used to mow my lawn. I used to try to pay him, and he wouldn't take anything. How about a glass of water?
You bet. Seth, come up here and help us, okay?
Richard invited Nordhoff to stay for supper, but Nordhoff refused politely. Richard nodded, embarrassed. "What's a nice guy like you doing with a family like that?" his friend Bernie Epstein had asked him once, and Richard had only been able to shrug, feeling the same dull embarrassment he was feeling now. He was a nice guy, yet this is what he had come out with: an overweight, sullen wife who felt cheated out of the good things in life, who felt that she had backed the losing horse, but who would never come right out and say so, and an uncommunicative 15-year-old son who was doing marginal work in the same school where Richard taught, a son who played weird chords on the guitar morning, noon, and night, and who seemed to think that that would be enough to somehow get him through.
Well, how about a beer?
The beer would taste good. Fine. Ooh, nice looking place you got here.
Serves a purpose.
Richard's study was a place he thought of as his own, a place where he could shut out the stranger he had married and the stranger she had given birth to. Lena, of course, had not approved of him having his own place, but she had not been able to stop it. It was one of the few little victories he had managed over her. He supposed that in a way she had backed the losing horse. When they had gotten married 16 years before, they had both believed he would write wonderful, lucrative novels and would both soon be driving around in Mercedes-Benzes. But the one novel he had published had not been lucrative, and the critics had been quick to point out that it wasn't very wonderful either. Lena had seen things a critic's way, and that had been the beginning of their drifting apart. So the high school teaching job that both of them had seen only as a stepping stone on the way to fame, glory, and riches had now been their main source of income for the last 15 years. But he had never quite let go of his dream. He wrote short stories in the occasional article. He brought in about $10,000 of additional income with his writing each year, and no matter how much Lena might grouse about it, it rated him his own study, especially since she refused to work.
You don't suppose that thing really works, do you? John was only 14.
I don't know. 15. He had just turned 15 when the accident happened.
The accident that had killed Richard's brother, his wife, and their son had happened 2 weeks before. They had been coming back from some sort of day trip, and Roger had been drunk. Being drunk was a perfectly ordinary occurrence in the life of Roger Hagstrom, but this time his luck had simply run out, and he had driven his old dusty van off the edge of a 90-foot drop. It had crashed and burned. John was 14. No, 15. Just turned 15 a couple of days before the accident. His birthday, and mine coming up soon, Richard thought.
Yeah, that's right. I actually gave him one for Christmas. I think he was 6 years old at the time. So he'd been working with, he had that set for 10 years. Not many kids do that, you know. They don't hang on to him that long. They trash him before then. Anything electric, he loved it. He loved gadgets, especially electrical gadgets.
He's pushing it, I think. I knew he was really good with gadgets. He won the state science fair in the 6th grade.
Yeah, but against much older kids. High school kids, probably. That's what his mother said.
We're really proud of him. But science fair projects and building your very own hybrid word cruncher.
Now, wait a minute. There was a kid in the 1950s that built an atom smasher or something like that out of almost nothing at all, a couple of cereal boxes or something. And another kid working with celluloid. No explosives of any kind, but he made explosives and made a pipe bomb. Kids are very funny at that age. They really can be geniuses. And he was one of those kinds of kids.
Maybe a little.
He thought of John's eyes, his still and delicate face. Was it strange, maybe even sick, to be jealous of another man's son? But he should have been mine, Richard thought. I knew it. And I think he knew it too. And then there was Belinda, Roger's wife. Belinda, who wore sunglasses too often on cloudy days. The big ones, because those bruises around the eyes have a nasty way of spreading. But he looked at her sometimes, and he thought almost the exact same thing. She should have been mine. It was a terrifying thought, because they had both known Belinda in high school, and had both dated her. Richard and Roger had been 2 years apart in age, and Belinda had been perfectly between them, a year older than Richard, and a year younger than Roger. Richard had been the first to actually date the girl who would grow up to be John's mother, but then Roger had stepped in. Roger, who was older and bigger, Roger who always got what he wanted, Roger who would hurt you if you tried to stand in his way.
Christ. I could write faster, rewrite faster, submit more. It'll be great, really great.
Why don't you get one, Uncle Rich?
Well, they don't exactly give them away. The Radio Shack model started around $1,000. You can work yourself up to $5,000.
Well, maybe I'll build one for you someday.
Maybe you just will. Jesus Christ. Dear Jesus, dear sweet Jesus.
Does the machine work?
It works all right. It works in ways you wouldn't believe.
I might. He was a very bright boy, and he loved you very much, Mr. Hagstrom. But be careful. A boy is a boy, bright or otherwise. It doesn't matter. And love can be very misdirected. Do you take my drift?
Mr. Nordhoff, can you come over here now, tonight?
No, I don't think I want to do that, Mr. Hagstrom. I think this might better stay between you and John.
But?
Well, just remember what I said. And for God's sake, please, be careful.
Where's your old man, Seth? Goofing off in the study like usual, I guess. He must do something. Stop thinking there. He's a goddamn dimwit. You ask my mother sometime. She'll tell you. He ain't done nothing.
I deleted him.
What are you staring at, Richard?
You, Lena, I'm staring at you. Because this is how you turned out in a world where you had no children. This is how you turned out in a world where there is no object for your love, poisoned as your love might be. This is how Lena looks in a world where everything comes in and nothing at all goes out. You, Lena. That's what I'm staring at, you.
What is that?
A turkey?
Turkey? That's the biggest damn turkey I've ever seen.
Well, don't just stand there looking at it, idiot. Help me. Not there. It's not going to fit in there. Put it in the freezer.
Sorry.
It was a Thanksgiving bingo. They had it this week instead of next week because Father Philip is going to have his gallbladder out next week. I won the frying pan.
Lena, are you ever sorry we never had children?
What in God's name do I want a rug monkey for? I'm going to bed. Are you coming up or are you going to go and moon over your typewriter some more?
I'll be up for a little while more, I think. It won't be long.
Does that gadget work?
What? No, it doesn't work.
That nephew of yours, just like you, Richard, always got his head in the clouds. God.
I won't be long and just want to write down a few things.
Why don't you write a Nobel Prize winning story or something, Richard? You know, we're behind on the optometrist bill and we're behind on a payment for the TV. Why don't you make some damn money?
Well, I don't know, Lena. You've got some really good ideas tonight, I really do.
Stop.
Dad?
John? John, it's you, isn't it?
Who else would it be? You didn't hurt yourself from that day you went to dead heaven, did you?
No, I'm fine.
I'm sorry it didn't work. I don't know what possessed me with such pretty parts.
Well, you'll do better next time. Maybe.
I might just try something else.
Maybe that's just as well.
Mom says she has hot cocoa if you want any.
I do.
Yeah.
Cup of hot cocoa would be real good right now.
Yeah, I'll see whatever I can pay-realize of that thing and then take it to the dump tomorrow.
It's my